Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvajakacharya Astar Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwarka, Text 9. Yarhi Ambujaksha Pasasara Bo Bhavan Kurun Madhun Vata Suhrit Didrikshaya Tatrabda Koti Pratima Chano Bhavet Ravim Vinakshnor Iva Nas Tavachuta Yaryambujaksha Pasasara Bo Bhavan Kurun Madhun Vata Suhrit Didrikshaya Tatabdra Koti Pratimakshano Bhave Ravim Vinakshnor Ivanas Tavachuta Yarhambujaksha Pasasara Bo Bhavan Kurun Madhun Vata Suhrid Didrikshaya Tatrabdakoti Pratimakshano Bhavet Ravim Vinakshnur Iva Nastavachuta Yarhambujaksha Pasasara Bo Bhavan Kurun Madhun Vata Suhrit Didrikshaya Tatrabdakoti Pratimachano Bhave Ravim Vinakshnor Ivanas Tavachuta Sambujaksha Pasasara Bo Bhavan Kurun Madhun Vata Suhrid Didrikshaya Chasvasara Bhava Vaishnavis, Mujaksha Pasasara Bhavan. Yarhi, whenever, Ambuja Aksha, O lotus-eyed one, Apasasara, you go away, Bo, O, Bhavan, yourself, Kurun, the descendants of King Kuru, Madhun, the inhabitants of Mathura, Vrajabhumi, Va, either, Ata, therefore, Suhritadrikshaya, for meeting them, Tatra, at that time, Abdakoti, millions of years, Pratimaha, like, Chanaha, moments, Bhavet, becomes, Ravim, the sun, Vina, without, Akshno, of the eyes, Iva, like that, Naha, ours, Tava, your, Achyuta, O infallible one. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like a million years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless, as if bereft of sun. Purport. We are all proud of our material senses for making experiments to determine the existence of God. But we forget that our senses are not absolute by themselves. They can only act under certain conditions. For example, our eyes. As long as the sunshine is there, our eyes are useful to a certain extent. But in the absence of sunshine, the eyes are useless. Lord Sri Krishna, being the primeval Lord, the supreme truth, is compared to the sun. Without him, all our knowledge is either false or partial. The opposite of the sun is darkness, and similarly the opposite of Krishna is Maya or illusion. The devotees of the Lord can see everything in true perspective due to the light disseminated by Lord Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, the pure devotee cannot be in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of Lord Krishna so that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. As we cannot see anything in the absence of the sun, so Also, we cannot see anything, including our own self, without the factual presence of the Lord. Without Him, all our knowledge is covered by illusion. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudi Gaur Bhakt. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find the chapters about the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami. And in those teachings to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya says, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakara Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahe Mayara Adhikara. So, Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like the sun. Maya Haya Andakara. Maya, the illusory energy, is darkness. Yahan Krishna, wherever there is Krishna, Taha Nahe, there is not Mayara Adhikara, the influence of Maya. So Krishna is like the sun, Maya is like darkness. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no influence of the darkness of Maya or the illusory energy. And as was mentioned yesterday, that is the basis of the motto of Back to Godhead magazine that Srila Prabhupada gave. Godhead is light, darkness is nescience. Where there is Godhead, there is no nescience. So that's being stated in this purport. It's the main point that Srila Prabhupada makes. Also in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Prabhasmi Sasi Suryayo, I am the light of the sun and the moon. Actually, the whole verse is Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya Prabhasmi Sasi Suryayo Pranava Sarva Vedeshu Shabdike Paurasham Nishru. Krishna explains, I am the taste of water, I am the light of the sun and moon, I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, and I am ability in men. But especially he's saying, I am the light of the sun. Actually, Srila Prabhupada explains that the universe is actually dark by nature. It's, there's the central part of the universe where there are the different planetary systems, but then there are 7 shells of the different energies, the different material elements, each one 10 times thicker than the other one. So, sometimes devotees would ask Srila Prabhupada, can we see other universes from here? And the answer is no, because we're encased in a universe that is covered by these very thick layers of all the different material elements like earth, fire, water, air, ego, so on. So the universe is naturally dark, but by the influence of Krishna's Brahmajyoti, the sun and the other celestial bodies reflect that light in this universe. It's interesting, the sun god has a very special position. He's called Surya Narayan. And I was just reading in a purport in the 5th canto where Srila Prabhupada explains that all the other demigods who are associated with the different celestial bodies, like the moon and Venus and Mars and so on, they are jivas. They are ordinary jiva souls who, because of their pious activities and other qualifications, are given the responsibility of overseeing those different planets. But he said, the sun deity, the sun god, is different. The sun god is a direct expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, not a jiva. That was kind of something I hadn't really thought about, but Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that this Surya Narayan, or this expansion of Krishna as the sun god, is referred to in the Gayatri mantra by the word Savita. So, and as I said, Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhasmi Sasi Surya Yo, I am the light of the sun and the moon. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions that we always want to be in the light of Krishna consciousness, because if we are, then we're not in the darkness of Maya or illusion. And he gives the example, and some of us have experience, many of us have taken long plane trips to India. If you're flying east, you're flying contrary to the direction of the sun. So, the sunlight goes very quickly, and then very quickly you're in night and darkness. But when you're flying back, if you're flying west, going with the sun, then you're moving with the sun, and it doesn't become dark, doesn't become night. So, in the same way, a devotee wants to always be moving with Krishna. And if the devotee is always moving in the same direction as Krishna, then the devotee will always be in the light of Krishna consciousness and won't be experiencing the darkness. So, this darkness can take many different forms. It can be the darkness of ignorance, meaning we don't have perfect knowledge of something. Srila Prabhupada in the purport is giving the example that we're proud of our eyes, but in the absence of a light source, the eyes really can't perceive anything. If you've ever been in a completely dark place, you'll understand that. I mean, normally even at night there's some light, there's the light of the moon or even the stars. But if you've ever been in a moonless, starless night, then you'll see it's very, very dark, or if you're in a dark room, completely shut off from everything. You can't see yourself, you can't see anything else. So all of our senses are like that in the absence of the light that's provided by the controlling demigod, ultimately Krishna, we can't perceive anything properly. We can't understand ourselves. We can't understand who others really are. We can't understand where we are, what kind of universe we're living in. Like Srila Prabhupada says, we are proud of our material senses for making experiments to determine the existence of God, or in the case of modern materialistic scientists, the non-existence of God. So this is one type of ignorance, to understand or think, I am the material body, instead of understanding, no, I am the soul within the body, dehinosmin yata dehe kamram yovanam jara tata dehantara prapti dirustatra namuyati. A wise person will understand, yes, this body is changing, but as the conscious self, I remain the same. I can remember I was a child, I was a youth, I was a middle-aged person, now I'm an old person. The real self should be different than the body. And of course that's confirmed by Shastra, but it could also be confirmed if we analyze things in the proper light. So that's one kind of darkness. And another type of darkness is to be under the influence of material desires, which push us to simply try to enjoy our material senses in an unrestricted way in this material world, and thus remain entangled in the cycle of birth and death, and experiencing the different kinds of material miseries, the adhyatmic miseries, the adibhautic miseries, and the adidaivic miseries. So adhyatmic miseries means miseries that come from one's own mind or body, different kinds of diseases, psychological disturbances. And then there's the adibhautic miseries, the miseries that come from other living things. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, hell is other people. And people really do hellish things to each other. You just see the local news. And then there's adidaivic miseries that come by the arrangement of divine influences. Things that are in insurance policies called acts of God, in the sense that they're beyond human control. Some earthquake or tsunami or hurricane or forest fire comes. It's not desired by anybody. Nobody wants it to happen. They try to stop it from happening, but still it happens. So if we're in the darkness of these material desires, then we remain under the influence of such things. So there are different varieties of the darkness of ignorance, but being in the presence of the light of Krishna, the light of Krishna consciousness, is the solution to all of them, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. So, Krishna, what does it mean to be in the presence of Krishna? Krishna makes himself available in many different forms. I mean, this universe that we're in has two purposes. First, it's a place where Krishna mercifully, out of his mercy, allows us to pursue our material desires and in forgetfulness of him. If that's what we want to do, Krishna allows us to do it in the human form of life. And if we have desires that really can't be fulfilled in the human form of life, then there are so many other species of life in which Krishna allows us to try to fulfill our material desires and forgetfulness of him. So that's one purpose of the material universe. It's a place where we can act in forgetfulness of Krishna. But it's also an opportunity that Krishna gives to remember him and return to his association. And to facilitate that, Krishna makes himself available in different ways. He makes himself available in the form of the deity form of Krishna. He makes himself available in his literary incarnation, the Srimad Bhagavatam. He makes himself available in the form of prasadam. He makes himself available in the form of his holy name. Golokara Premadana Harinama Sankirtana, the holy name of the Lord that is chanted in Sankirtan, is imported from the spiritual world. It's non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada explains that if we're always in the presence of the Krishna Sun, which can be in the form of Krishna's holy name, then we're always in the light of Krishna consciousness and beyond the touch of the darkness of illusion, of Maya. So Srila Prabhupada gave his disciples different names of Krishna. In a letter that he wrote, he gave me my name, Drutakarma. So I accept Michael Cremo as my disciple. His name is Drutakarma. And I always wondered about that name because you don't see it in most of our books. Like most of the devotees have names, Govinda Das or Govinda Dasi or Krishna Das, or you can find it somewhere in the books. Has anybody seen the name Drutakarma? I never saw it either. But I mentioned it to one devotee I met in Mayapur. He's a Sanskrit scholar. He said, "What does your name mean?" I said, "Well, I really don't know. I mean, different Sanskrit scholars have told me Druta can mean quick, karma can mean work, so maybe it means Krishna who works very fast, or Druta means dissolve or melt, and karma means, the reactions, so it can mean Krishna who takes away the reactions, melts the reactions, but never seen it in any book. But this devotee wrote to me recently, he said, I found your name. It's in the Narada Pancharatra. There's a Vishnu Sahasra Nam, 1,000 names of Vishnu in the Narada Pancharatra. It's not the normal 1,000 names of Vishnu because I already checked that and it's not there. But, there's one verse in the chapter of the Narada Pancharatra that has 1,000 names of Vishnu that contains the name Drutakarma. So, and actually it contains the names of other devotees who were initiated at the same time I was. There was a devotee named Adridharna and a devotee named Vishvavriksha, world tree, and Adridharna, Adri means mountain and Dharna means lift. So their names, these other devotees who were initiated at the same time as I was, received the same names. But anyways, the reason Srila Prabhupada and the Vaishnavacharyas give their disciples these names, different names of Krishna and the names of Krishna's devotees, is that we can be reminded of Krishna and get some benefit from saying these different names. Just like, was it Ajamil? It was started out as a Brahminical devotee, but fell down into bad association and committed many sinful activities. But his child, his son, was named Narayan. So at the time of death, when the Yamadutas, the servants of Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, were coming to take him away, he was chanting the name of his child, Narayan, Narayan, and because of that, the Vishnudutas, the servants of Lord Krishna, intervened and stopped the Yamadutas from taking him away, and he got the opportunity to perfect his lives. So we should always remember Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhikara Yahan Krishna Taha Nai Mayura Adhikara. Krishna is just like the sun, Maya is like darkness. Wherever there's Krishna, there is no influence of Maya. Hare Krishna. So, any questions? Gauranga Prema.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. We know that the Brahmacharya is spreading all over the spiritual world, and the sunlight is spreading all over the material this universe. So, is there any relationship between the Brahmacharya and the sunlight?
Krishna said, Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna through Srila Prabhupada says that the light of the sun and the moon is a reflection of the Brahmajyoti, but it's not a reflection in the ordinary way. sometimes we say, the Son, the Son, S-O-N, reflects the qualities of the Father. In other words, in the Son, you can see the qualities of the Father or Mother.
So can we
So,
so can we say that the
so
sunlight is just brahmachari?
Srila Prabhupada says the sunlight is the reflection of the Brahmajyoti. He says that several times. So we can try to understand how that's true. I accept it as a fact.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Haribol Prabhu. So you were making some point to the extent that Krishna is the light, and where there is light, there can be no darkness. So how did we become covered over and even end up in this material world if we were once with that light where the darkness was not even allowed? Of course, we have minute independence, but how is there even that darkness if there's that sunlight?
That's by Krishna's arrangement. Krishna Bahirmukahana Boga Vanchakare Nikitashta Mayatari Japatiyadare. If we turn away from Krishna, then Maya is there. So it's just like if you're looking at the sun, there's no darkness. If you turn away from the sun, you'll see your shadow, and you can identify with the shadow, which is not your real self. And then if you do that, then you experience all kinds of things. To get away from that shadow of yourself, which isn't your real self, you turn back to Krishna and no more shadow.
But what can cause us to turn?
Desire. Bhoga Vanchakare, the desire to enjoy independently from Krishna. So, if we're satisfied with that, then we'll never turn back. Krishna is always calling us, saying, turn around, turn to me, chant my name. If we want to resist that, we can. But if we turn to Krishna, Krishna will help us. Brigapati Prabhu.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. Are Vivaswan and Suryanarayan the same person? And I'm going to cheat a little bit. That's fun. And when Krishna and Arjuna went to see Mahavishnu, to the best of my memory, there's no description of them boring through a layer of earth, swimming through a layer of water, and then flying through a layer of fire. So, because they had to go outside the universe, they had to go through to see Mahavishnu. It wasn't Garbhodaksha Vishnu, it was Mahavishnu, so they had to go through all the coverings, but I can't remember any description of them going through coverings in the Krishna book, in that past time.
Are you sure?
I'm not. That's why I'm asking. Is there some passage where
without looking at it, or without looking at the 10th canto, I can't say. But in so many places it's described, how those shells are there. And in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there is a description how Gopakumar goes through the different shells and their personalities within, the different shells. So I just can't recall from memory right now whether in the Krishna book or the 10th canto there's a description of them going through the different layers or not. But if they went out of the universe, they would have had to go through those layers. And as far as the first question, whether they're Vivasvan and Surya Narayan are the same personality, the impression I get from Srila Prabhupada is that they are, but this is the purport that I was talking about. This is from Canto 5, Chapter 23, Text 3, purport. All the demigods are living entities who have been appointed to their various posts as masters of moon, earth, Venus, and so on, because of their great service and pious acts. Only the predominating deity of the sun, Surya Narayan, is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it seems he's identifying Surya Narayan with the deity, predominating deity of the sun. Does anybody have any information about that? Radha Krishna?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The way that I remember from the 12th canto, Sutta Goswami says that the 12 Adityas, who are the sun gods, they are all expansions of Vishnu. But the other side of it in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that between Adityas I am Vishnu. So these two there are apparent contradictions, but I remember from the 12th canto that all of the Adityas are. And those Adityas are basically covering all the demigods. Those are like all the prominent demigods. They take turn in giving light from the sun in different months. Mitra, Vayu, they're all different Adityas.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.